Hollywood is in full meltdown mode over the behind-the-scenes drama between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and it is messier than a spilled mimosa at Sunday brunch. What began as a dream team moment to bring It Ends With Us to the big screen has devolved into a full-blown battlefield, with lawyers involved, reputations on the line, and accusations flying like confetti at a scandalous soiree. Blake swears up and down that she was iced out of major creative decisions and forced into high-fashion comedy nonsense she never signed up for. But Justin is calling foul, claiming she was present for every move, and is now flipping the script in a way that's dragging his name through the mud. Just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, boom! Missing documents, shady text messages, and whispers of serious legal heat are bubbling to the surface. But here's the gag. Hollywood's elite are stepping in. At least 10 major names, some loud, others whispering behind the scenes, are standing 10 toes down for Justin. We're talking old co-stars, industry insiders, and even some deep-pocketed philanthropists, all vouching for him as a creative, collaborative king, not the dictator Blake is making him out to be. Whether folks are speaking up or keeping it hush-hush, one thing is clear. Tinseltown is split, and this battle is far from over. Baby, this tea just keeps getting hotter with some newly surfaced documents, allegedly backing up Baldoni's side. Folks are starting to side-eye Blake Lively's whole legal narrative. The streets are whispering. Did she conveniently forget to mention her own hand in steering this film toward that high-fashion comedic vibe? Suddenly, what seemed like a cut-and-dry case is looking real murky. And let's talk about those 10 celebs standing 10 toes down for Baldoni, because their words are shaking the table. First up, Gina Rodriguez, the Jane the Virgin star who worked directly with Baldoni when he directed an episode of the show. She was minding her business promoting her own projects when bam, somebody hit her with a Baldoni question mid-interview. Now, Sis could have played it safe, but nope. She took a pause, gathered her thoughts and spoke up. She gave Baldoni his flowers, calling him devoted to the source material, saying he never chases clout or commercial fluff over emotional depth. Here's where it gets real messy. Gina basically hinted that the comedy elements in It Ends With Us, yeah, they might not have been his idea at all. Maybe it was a group decision, or maybe, just maybe, somebody else was leading that charge. When I tell you the internet went up, fans of both the novel and Blake Lively pounced, dissecting every syllable to figure out if Gina just spilled some real tea or just stirred the pot a little more. Either way, this drama just hit another level, and it ain't cooling down anytime soon. Despite all the mess swirling around, Gina stood 10 toes down for Baldoni, keeping it cool but firm in her praise of his artistic integrity and trust. She wasn't the only one coming to his defense. Enter Chrissy Metz. When she stepped into the chat, the whole conversation shifted. Best known for pulling at everybody's heartstrings in This Is Us, Chrissy's connection to Baldoni ran deeper than Hollywood philanthropy. She'd seen his character up close. While some folks chose to zip their lips, Chrissy spoke up, straight up saying that no one person calls all the shots in a film this big. Hollywood is a machine, and collaboration is key. Her words had people rethinking whether Blake's claims made Baldoni look like a creative tyrant, when in reality, decisions like these go through many hands. That's when the whispers started. Was Blake out here giving us a one-sided story? Then, Chrissy took it one step further. She hit social media with a post that had folks reading between the lines. Kindness and truth should always guide how we talk about creative differences. Now, she ain't saying names, but the girls who get it, get it. Insiders swear this was her way of riding for Baldoni without calling Blake out directly. Behind closed doors, Chrissy was talking. Sources claim she told her inner circle that Baldoni is one of the real ones, a director who cares about real storytelling, not just flashy aesthetics. While Chrissy never made an official statement, her loyalty to Baldoni's artistic integrity did not go unnoticed. Then, things took an even more unexpected turn. Enter Hilary Swank. Yes, the 2-time Academy Award winner and Hollywood royalty got pulled into the mix. Now here's the gag. Swank has never worked directly with Baldoni, so folks were curious about why her name was coming up. The connection? Their shared philanthropic work, especially in social justice advocacy. Insiders have shared that Hillary was not feeling the way Baldoni was being painted as some creative tyrant, steamrolling over female voices. Word on the street is she told folks behind closed doors that everyone she's ever spoken to about him swears he's the opposite. A filmmaker who uplifts women, creates space for collaboration, and isn't out here power tripping. The idea that he would bulldoze a co-star's input? Yeah, that didn't track with the man she knew through mutual connections. Even though Hillary never made an official statement, the fact that her name was in the mix was enough to shake things up. Hillary does not make a mess. Sis stays booked, respected, and far away from Hollywood's foolishness. So for her to hint that she wasn't fully buying Blake's version of events, baby, that carried weight. Now let's talk about Mindy Kaling, because she just added a whole new layer to this mess. Mindy and Baldoni have always had that playful, mutual admiration, tweeting inside jokes and hyping each other up. So, when she hit the red carpet and got hit with a question about this controversy, the internet was on high alert. Baby, Mindy did not dodge. Instead, she praised Baldoni's ability to blend humor with heartfelt storytelling. Let's be real, with all this chatter about whether It Ends With Us was too comedic, that comment felt pointed. Fans wasted zero time speculating. Was Mindy subtly calling cap on Blake's version of events? She didn't explicitly pick a side, but in Hollywood, baby, a compliment at the right moment can be louder than a direct statement. And let's be very clear, this ain't just random industry chatter anymore. With each new voice speaking up, it's looking real obvious that Hollywood is not standing behind Blake the way some folks originally thought. Mindy made it crystal that if comedy found its way into It Ends With Us, that was not a one-man decision. It was a group effort, period. She pointed out that Baldoni has always championed women's stories, making the idea that he'd just force a comedic take onto an unwilling actress sound completely out of character. She ain't outright calling Blake a liar, but let's just say fans definitely took it as a quiet but strong endorsement of Baldoni's side. And this drama? It just keeps getting deeper. Was Mindy Kaling subtly riding for Baldoni, or was she just stating facts? Either way, baby, this conversation was far from over. Then, boom, Selena Gomez slid into the mix. Now, Selena and Baldoni ain't exactly co-stars, but their circles overlap. According to some very chatty insiders, Selena was not buying this whole Blake was blindsided narrative. Her reasoning? Major creative choices, especially in a film starring someone as high profile as Blake, do not happen without the lead's input. Like, let's be serious, a whole shift in tone, a complete fashion revamp, and nobody told Blake. Girl, be for real. Now, Selena never said Blake's name, but let's just say her comments about how film adaptations require deep collaboration dropped right when Blake's complaints started making waves. Coincidence? Baby, the streets don't think so. Fans immediately started connecting dots, convinced Selena was subtly but firmly backing Baldoni, low-key hinting that Blake's version of events might not be the full truth. Then Jordan Fisher stepped up, actor, musician, and someone who has actually worked with Baldoni on separate projects, so you know his words carried weight. Jordan has always praised Baldoni's fairness, but when asked straight up about the on-set tensions, his response was very telling. Jordan didn't hesitate to say Baldoni is the kind of director who would sit down and talk through a problem for hours rather than let even the smallest issue fester. So let's put two and two together. If Baldoni is that type of director, how exactly did Blake end up feeling so left out? Baby, this drama just keeps unfolding, and the plot is thicker than ever. Jordan Fisher's words put a huge dent in Blake's story, because if Baldoni is truly the type to sit down and talk things out for hours, how did Blake end up feeling pushed out? The math wasn't matching, and Jordan didn't stop there. He straight up said that if the comedy and high fashion elements were introduced, it was way more likely a result of group decisions rather than some power move by Baldoni. The cracks in Blake's version of events were becoming really hard to ignore. Was Baldoni truly the one pulling the strings, or was this whole situation way more complicated than anybody first thought? One thing was clear, Hollywood was not done talking, and Jordan's words resonated. Fans trust him. He's got that honest, level-headed, no BS energy. So when he says Baldoni is not that guy, logically, people started reevaluating everything. Just when you thought the conversation couldn't get messier, here comes Oli Carvalho, yep, Moana herself, stepped into the chat. Now she ain't got direct ties to either of them, but she has crossed paths with Baldoni. What she had to say during a fundraiser. Somebody asked her about the legal mess, and her reaction was straight-up surprise. Sis basically said Baldoni is the same man I've met. You must be talking about a different person. She couldn't wrap her head around the idea that someone as open-hearted as him would ever shut out a lead actress or steamroll over their vision. And she wasn't throwing out generic Hollywood fluff. She called him an active listener, someone who values collaboration and adapts based on the ideas of those around him. Her words were short but carried weight because, let's be real, she may be newer to the industry, but she's already smart enough to know who's who in Hollywood. For her to come in fresh-faced and unbothered saying that man y'all are describing, that ain't the Baldoni I know, baby. It just made this whole mess even messier. And then, oh, it gets even juicier. Shawn Mendes had to make an appearance in this mess. Now we know Shawn is a global superstar, but he's never been one to dive into Hollywood drama, so when he suddenly entered the chat, all eyes were on him. You see, he and Baldoni have attended multiple charity events together, bonding over their shared passion for philanthropy. Now they ain't co-stars, but that didn't stop Shawn from weighing in. Soon after the rumor started flying that Blake might be twisting facts to get an edge in court, Mendes made a move. He took to social media and posted a message supporting Baldoni, calling him one of the real ones in Hollywood and praising his commitment to authentic storytelling. He didn't drop Blake's name. He didn't have to. The timing of that post was everything. Was it a signal that Shawn was Team Baldoni? Fans certainly thought so. And they ate that up and ran with it. But hold up, Shawn wasn't the only one from the music world to drop a word. Enter Camila Cabello. Sis found herself right in the middle of this drama when a fan hit her with a direct question during a live conda. They asked if she believed the rumors that Baldoni forced comedic changes onto Blake, and she shut it down. Camila's response was unapologetically clear. She said she's never known Baldoni to be manipulative. In fact, he goes out of his way to uplift everyone involved. The way that statement just dropped had people like, oh snap! The public perception of this whole situation shifted with every new celebrity speaking out. This drama is still far from over, and it looks like the plot is thickening with every new voice. What was once seen as a legal tiff has now turned into a whole movie, and Hollywood's watching every twist. Camila Cabello didn't just back Baldoni's character. She dropped a truth bomb that nobody was brave enough to say out loud. She hinted that someone like Blake Lively, with decades of experience and deep industry ties, just wouldn't be steamrolled or pushed aside in a major film production. Her words were brief and maybe a little speculative, but they hit hard. It only made the growing suspicion about Blake's version of events stronger. The idea that she was totally shut out of creative choices was starting to seem more like a strategic narrative than a full-blown truth. Maybe it was just an oversimplification, or maybe it was a story being spun to get the upper hand. But hold up, baby. It ain't over yet. Then came Sophia Bush. If you know anything about Hollywood, you know Sophia doesn't play. She's an activist, a transparency queen, and she's been out here calling out all kinds of injustice. So when the Baldoni lawsuit hit the headlines, people were waiting for her to pick a side. But Sophia played it cool. She didn't pick a side publicly, not at first. Behind the scenes, oh, sis wasn't quiet. Reports popped up that Sophia had personally reached out to Baldoni to offer emotional support. That raised eyebrows. People started connecting dots. Was she Team Baldoni, or was she just being the solid friend we know her to be? Then, during a Women in Film event, she dropped a not-so-subtle statement that had the room buzzing. She said one person's story can't always be taken at face value, especially when we know how complicated big productions can be. The way Sophia's words hit was like a subtle jab at Lively's accusations. It was like she was saying not everything in Hollywood is as clear-cut as it seems, and that wasn't lost on anyone. Sophia's carefully chosen words packed a punch. She's built her whole career on amplifying women's voices and demanding fairness, so for her to remind everyone of the complexity in this situation spoke volumes. It was a pause button for the whole drama. Don't rush to judge. Let the full picture unfold. With that, she low-key threw some weight behind Baldoni's stance, hinting he wasn't the villain in this story. It wasn't direct support, but it was a call to reconsider the narrative. But let's not get it twisted. While the sides are drawing up and voices are being heard, the core of this controversy remains a mystery. Blake is still holding tight to her claims, insisting Baldoni let comedic and over-the-top fashion choices take over, turning It Ends With Us into something that lost the raw emotional grit that made the book a smash hit. She insists her protests were ignored, leaving her feeling marginalized in creative moments that should have been crucial. That narrative is still dividing Hollywood down the middle. So who's telling the truth? That's the million-dollar question, and right now, nobody has the answer. The real turning point in this drama came when Blake took her claims to court, accusing reputational harm and a toxic production environment. But if she thought that would be the final mic drop, she was in for a shock. Hold up, because Justin Baldoni is coming back swinging with a jaw-dropping $100 million defamation lawsuit, backed by cold hard receipts, text messages, meeting logs and internal documents, all reportedly proving Lively was in on the comedic rewrites and high-fashion choices from day one. Boom. Just like that, he's flipping the script. But wait, it gets messier. Whispers, I'm talking the kind that spread like wildfire, are circulating, suggesting that Lively might have been less than honest about her role in the film's direction. Allegedly, new evidence is coming through that contradicts her story, painting a picture that Lively knew, approved, and even participated in those comedic twists and fashion decisions she's now throwing shade at. If those rumors turn out to be true, oh baby, that whole blindsided lead actress act could unravel in a hurry, and Lively's entire version of events would fall apart like a cheap wig in the rain. Some defenders are saying, well, maybe she just changed her mind, or maybe she regretted the direction. But let's keep it real. Lively has been in this game too long not to know how well-documented creative decisions are in a major production. She knew what was going down. If that big old discrepancy gets exposed, Lively's credibility might take a huge hit, and Baldoni's case could get a serious boost. With Hollywood watching every move, all eyes are now on the power players in the industry, trying to figure out whose side they're on. Lively does have a few voices stepping up, sympathizing with her struggle, saying that big-budget productions have a way of evolving in unpredictable ways. But with everything coming to light, it's far from clear where this is headed. Now here's the tea, baby. Some are trying to paint Lively as the victim, claiming that the comedic or extravagant elements started off small and then spiraled out of her control. The argument is that she wasn't being deceptive, but just caught off guard by what snowballed beyond her ability to manage. But honey, the 10 celebrities backing Baldoni are flipping that narrative on its head. No question, their support tells a whole other story. Their message, Baldoni's approach, is all about respectful collaboration, making it practically impossible that he would have pushed through huge creative changes without full buy-in. That's where this support really hits hard. We're not talking about random people who just like him. Nah, these are industry professionals who've seen Baldoni in action and they know his methods. These testimonials pack serious weight because they're not just speaking on loyalty or personal friendship, they're directly challenging Lively's version of events. With each new nugget of info, this Hollywood drama just keeps getting juicier. What's even wilder? The celebs backing Baldoni are not just casual supporters. They're real industry figures, known for their authenticity and ethical conduct. They know that in Hollywood, the foundation of any strong creative collaboration is honesty and mutual respect. So when they stand behind Baldoni, they're not just defending him, they're throwing some serious shade on Lively's allegations. The counter-narrative has come out swinging, and it's bold. According to this camp, Lively wasn't just some innocent victim of unwanted comedic or stylistic choices. Nah, sis was right there, actively helping to shape them. The real kicker? She only shifted her stance after those leaked set photos made the public lose their mind. Suddenly, it wasn't about her artistic integrity. It was a full-on image crisis. Now we've got to ask, Was Lively genuinely feeling sidelined and unheard, or was she just playing the game? Once fans started crying foul over the adaptation, straying too far from the raw emotional heart of the book, we may never know for sure. And fans are stuck in the middle, waiting for the dust to settle. Will we ever see the adaptation we dreamed of, or is the whole thing about to go down in flames? The suspense is killing me, y'all. Honey, this mess is spiraling straight into chaos. There's no concrete release date, no marketing strategy, and now the real worry is that this whole project is turning into a damage control situation instead of gearing up for a big premiere. As the drama unfolds, another layer is starting to cook up, and it could affect both Baldoni and Lively's careers for years to come. Let's break it down. Baldoni has spent years building his reputation as a compassionate director, a man who lives for emotional storytelling. Meanwhile, Lively has her own empire as not just an actress, but a fashion icon. Don't forget she's got that sharp wit and comedy timing that makes her a Hollywood darling. But now, with all this drama, both of their public images are on the line. If it turns out Lively's testimony is lying about how things went down, like if internal production records back up Baldoni's side, she could face a serious credibility crisis. And trust, this ain't just about this one film. We're talking about future roles, endorsements, and the trust she's built with her fans. But here's the flip side. If no smoking gun shows up, or if it turns out the evidence isn't as bad as people think, Baldoni could be left holding the L. Would he have to publicly apologize for throwing shade at her? Or is this just the start of a never-ending drama that will leave a stain on what was supposed to be a powerful film? One thing is clear. Hollywood is watching this all unfold, and no matter who wins, neither of them is walking away clean. With 10 top-tier celebrities backing Baldoni, you best believe the public perception has already started leaning in his favor. The stakes are high, and y'all, it's far from over. Ooh, the plot thickens, doesn't it? These celebs backing Baldoni aren't just doing it for kicks. They've got their own reasons, whether it's from past collaborations, shared charity work, or simply mutual respect for his creative vision. But beyond all the personal ties, this collective support sends a big message to Hollywood. Star power alone isn't the ace anymore. Not with everything getting dissected in the digital age. Every little text, email, and voice memo can be used as evidence, and people are realizing that now. Hollywood used to be all about the narrative a celebrity could sell with their fame, but not anymore. With a chorus questioning Lively's version of events, the game has changed. The stakes are higher than ever, and if this thing drags on, it could set a precedent for how future disputes are handled. Now the big question. Will any of these celebrities be called to testify under oath? Oh honey, if positions happen, we might finally get the full tea. They could either confirm that Lively was on board with the comedic direction, or expose that Baldoni made major moves without her blessing. Some insiders believe this might never make it to trial at all, especially if Baldoni's team has enough receipts to shut it all down. At that point, Lively's team might have to weigh whether fighting the good fight is worth the fallout. For now, though, it's a waiting game. The public is left picking apart cryptic social media posts, reading between carefully crafted interviews, and watching every subtle shift in the position of Hollywood's big names. Each move, each silence, just adds to the mystery. And now, there's even talk of a sensational rumor swirling around online, setting the internet on fire. The drama just keeps building. Could Blake Lively face legal consequences if it's proven her claims were misleading? While some extreme rumors suggest jail time, legal experts quickly shut that down, saying it's highly unlikely unless there's rock-solid proof that she deliberately made false statements with malicious intent. That's a tough mountain to climb, and it's not easy to prove that level of intent in a case like this. But the fact that this conversation is even happening is a sign that the stakes are sky high. Let's be clear, Baldoni's defamation lawsuit isn't just a legal move, it's a major counterattack. If Lively's claims turn out to be inaccurate or misleading, her career could take a serious hit. The ramifications could be far-reaching, if the court finds any discrepancies, no matter how small. As for Baldoni's 10 defenders, they're holding their ground. They genuinely believe that when the truth finally comes out, it's going to completely clear his name and flip the whole narrative. For Baldoni, this is about more than just "it ends with us." It's about preserving his credibility as a director who values emotional storytelling over industry politics. He's fighting not just for his reputation, but to prove that the creative integrity he stands for wasn't compromised in the making of this film. But for the public, this whole saga has turned into a spectacle that raises serious questions about honesty, creative control, and the behind-the-scenes politics that shape big Hollywood productions. What was supposed to be a powerful emotional adaptation has now become a cautionary tale, highlighting just how chaotic, risky, and complex the world of star-driven filmmaking can be. Oh, you know fans are glued to social media, waiting for the next bombshell to drop every day. The same questions echo. Will more evidence surface to clear up the chaos? Will Lively respond to the wave of support rallying behind Baldoni? And most crucially, will It Ends With Us ever shake off the controversy to regain its momentum? At this point, it's all about that powerful defense Baldoni has behind him. Those 10 Hollywood heavyweights have changed the entire conversation, making it way harder to take Lively's claims at face value. For fans of the novel, the dream scenario is simple. Get this drama behind closed doors, settle it, and let the film keep its integrity. Let's hope the soul of the story shines through despite the off-screen chaos and still attracts audiences to theaters. But of course, that's only in the best-case scenario. We're still stuck in the mess for now. This saga is a perfect reminder of just how wild Hollywood feuds can get. It's not just about what happens on screen, but how celebrity influence, creative visions, and legal battles all collide behind the scenes. Right now, Baldoni has the upper hand with 10 rock-solid defenders. They're not just supporting him, they're reshaping how Hollywood studios and even audiences see this whole ordeal. But what's next? Well, time will tell. Keep an eye on this, because you know there's more drama to come. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all the juicy updates on this one and the next one.